Hello guys, I hope you're doing well. My name is Vasily and right now I would like to present my solution for the tutorial number 3 for the COM 1406. So first of all, I would like to say that I created a bowl class that contains, and for this class I copied all of the lines of code from the tutorial instructions. I have not modified anything. The only two things is that you can see here that I added two different import statements which were necessary to make these things work. And let's go to the paddle class. So I also created a paddle class where we again have two import statements. I also do have several variables that define the characteristics of the green paddle. We have 4 different get methods and we have 4 different set methods that will be called when we wanted to change the location of the paddle according to the arrow keys. And so finally, you can see here that we also have this method. I copied the lines of code for this method from the tutorial instructions, and so this thing is responsible for drawing the green paddle on the canvas slide. And finally, I also created a class moving word, and so for this class you can see that it is responsible for creating the moving word sign. And so initially these lines of code, they were in the FaxMouse application class, which contained our main method, and then we were asked to create a separate class that contains all of these lines of code and delete them from here. And so here, as you can see, these are the variables that define the characteristics of the hello world sign, which these are the 4 different get methods. These are the 2 different set methods that will set the x and y direction for the moving word. We also have a method called advanced greeting, and so this method is going to be responsible for changing the direction of the this method is going to be responsible for changing changing the location of the greeting greeting word, and so moving it along the canvas. And finally, we also have a method that will draw the that will draw the green paddle on the canvas slide in the beginning And so if you go to the FaxMouse application, you can see here that at the top of our class we have 3 different statements that create objects belonging to the classes moving word, bowl, and paddle. If we scroll down and go to the repaint canvas, so here, as you can see, we have 3 lines of code which are responsible for actually drawing the moving word, drawing the ball, and drawing the paddle. And if you go a little bit up, here, as you can see in the timer method, we have a line of code that will advance the greeting word around the canvas. We also have lines of code that will check whatever the moving word sign is within the canvas boundaries and change its direction if necessary. We also have the lines of code responsible for advancing the ball on the canvas on the canvas slide, and we also have the lines of code which are responsible for checking whatever the ball stays within the boundaries of the canvas slides and changing in direction if necessary. And finally, let's also look at this method, which is responsible for handling the arrow keys input. And so here, as you can see, it will move our paddle along the X or along the Y direction depending on the arrow keys input. And so importantly, you can see here in all of this else and if statements, I also did another additional nested if statement that will check whatever the paddle stays within them canvas boundaries. And so if it stays within it, it will allow it to move. If not, it will not move it along the X or Y direction if it will go outside of the canvas boundaries. And so now let me build my project and run it so you can see that it did work. So let me build my project. You can see it has compiled successfully. And so if I run this, you can see here we have a window that launches and that shows us the moving hello world sign and the red ball, moving red ball. As you can see, both of them, they bounce off the canvas slide. So you can see that the hello world sign is exactly the same way. It looks exactly and moves exactly the same way like it looked in the beginning when all of the lines of code were in the FaxMouse application class. And so finally, if you can see here, if I press the arrow keys, you can see that our paddle will move down or up, and so you can see it will not go outside of the canvas size. And similarly, if I press it to the right, it will move right, but it will not move outside of the canvas boundaries. And so if I move left, it will also work. And I hope this explains how I solved tutorial number 3. Thank you for your attention, and bye for now.